ship are now being monitored at 2 facilities in the United States.
One patient has tested positive and is now in a biocontainment unit in Omaha, Nebraska.
Global health officials warning there are now 11 total cases of the deadly hantavirus, adding that number could go up as the virus can incubate for 42 days.
And one thing that's really worrying here is just how deadly this virus is. Something like 40% of people who get diagnosed with it will die. And scarier still, according to news reports, it feels like this hantavirus outbreak is weird because it's spreading from person to person.
Experts are confirming there have been cases of a rare strain on the ship that can be transmitted between humans.
Meanwhile, officials have been scrambling to track down some people who left the cruise ship before they knew hantavirus was on board. No surprises, the internet is freaking out.
Hantavirus will spread. It absolutely will get worse.
Why did they let the people off the boat? Why'd you let them off the boat? Why did you let them off the boat?
Everybody better wake the up with this hantavirus bullshit. We're not doing it again.
The Hantavirus, Hantavirus. This is crazy. History is about to repeat itself. I have seen this film before, COVID-19. I want to watch a new film, The Titanic. And I'm getting very, very anxious, very nervous, and they should have sank that motherfucking ship while they had the chance.
So today on the show, what is going on with hantavirus? What happens if you get infected? How is it spreading? And how worried do we need to be here? Could this be the next pandemic? When it comes to hantavirus, there's a lot of people saying,
we're not doing it again.
And then there's science. Science versus hantavirus is coming up just after the break. Welcome back. Today we're talking all about hantavirus, and this is the first time a lot of us have even heard of this virus, so we're going to break down exactly what it is, starting with what happens if you get infected. Because on the cruise ship, the 3 passengers died within just a few days of their symptoms starting, which is very scary. So we wanted to know how things can escalate so quickly. And for this, we called up Professor Michelle Harkins.
I am a pulmonary and critical care physician at the University of New Mexico.
And she's treated dozens of hantavirus patients in the ICU. And she told us that there are a couple of dozen different types of hantaviruses that can infect humans. The one that Michelle generally sees in New Mexico is called the sin nombre virus. And it is a lot like the version that popped up on the cruise ship.
Yeah, they're in the same family. We can call them relatives.
So if you get infected with hantavirus and you have all these viral particles in your body, they tend to attack and go after this specific type of cell.
So this virus likes a particular cell, the endothelial cell, and it lines all the blood vessels. It lines a lot of the cells in the lung.
What happens from here is that your body starts to mount an immune response to get rid of this invader. And that's often when you can start to get sick, in a way that Michelle says might feel pretty familiar at first.
So you feel like you have the flu. You're sick, you have fever, chills, body aches, headache.
And it's possible that more of us have been infected with hantavirus than we think. Studies have measured the blood of thousands of people for hantavirus antibodies, evidence that hantavirus weaseled its way into their body and then their immune system responded. And they found that in the Americas, just over 2% of people that they looked at had hantavirus antibodies. A lot of those folks were probably never diagnosed with hantavirus and might have had pretty mild symptoms. But for others who get infected, like some of the passengers on the cruise ship, it can get very nasty. In the first week of symptoms, you can start getting GI problems. So think stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. And in fact, more than half of the people who actually get diagnosed with hantavirus end up with severe symptoms. And that can happen because your immune system kind of gets completely carried away. It creates this massive inflammatory response.
It causes like a war, if you will. It's a whole dysregulation of our immune system that is caused by this virus.
This is called